Hello, welcome to a new video. This is something I'd love to start as a regular thing on my channel. I really want to make this a new series titled Sketchbook Sanctuary. As a place for us to sit down together, work in our sketchbooks for a little while, and have a little chat about sketchbooks or whatever else is on my mind at the moment. Or maybe it's just an ambient place that you can use as a bit of a work buddy, as a co-working pal while you have something to do. So this is a new sketchbook. I started it last month in May 2025, and I have been full on rampaging in it. I am loving this sketchbook. I feel I'm finding myself grabbing it so often, and a couple of pens, a couple of paints, and just playing in it. I feel like when I got towards the end of my last sketchbook, I was starting to remember this feeling of play and silliness and just doing things for myself. I feel like for a while I had sort of become a little bit of a factory in my sketchbook. It had become a place where I only did work and I only did things for a specific outcome. And I don't want to be a factory. I want to be a garden. I want to just grow things just for the heck of it. I want to make pretty flowers just because they make me smile. I want some of my flowers to not germinate and then wonder why and then figure it out, or just let them be little blobs of mud. I don't know. I realized that there's value in valueless drawings in my sketchbook. Play is powerful, and I've always sort of preached that play is powerful and that I love playing and experimenting and trying new things and getting silly and weird in my sketchbook. But sometimes it's hard to walk the walk and talk the talk, you know. I just had this big realization that I needed to go back, and I needed to make silly or ugly things to remind me that joy doesn't need a reason. And creating art, being an artist, drawing, painting, sketching, making up characters, doing fun things like this is such a fun thing for me. It's my hobby, it's my joy, it's my pleasure. I enjoy it so much. But yeah, I was definitely becoming more of a factory rather than a garden. So I think this series is going to be perfect for reminding myself and maybe reminding you that drawing in our sketchbook doesn't have to be for something. Not everything has to be for something. It can just be silly. Drawing a potato with legs can just make you laugh, turn your day around. So today in the Sketchbook Sanctuary, I had sort of a bit of a theme in my head that I knew I needed to go off of, just so I had a vehicle of something to keep my brain active. So I've been drawing trees a lot lately. I'm on this tree bandwagon since last month. Just can't stop drawing trees and this character interacting with trees or being a tree or whatever. So I sort of went into this little sketchbook session with trees on the brain. And I have been drawing this duo for the last month in this sketchbook constantly, and I don't really have a solution for it. I don't know why. It's just been fun. I just enjoy these two symbols to each other. And you know, maybe it's my something inside me that's trying to express something, and I have all sorts of different thoughts and feelings around why. My last video, I talk a lot about why I chose to draw a tree and this character, but maybe there's something else that I'm still trying to come up with a reason for, and maybe there is no reason. Maybe I'm just enjoying these two symbols interacting with each other and finding different ways to draw them and to depict them. And also, that's just fun. Maybe it's my little comfort zone at the moment. It's interesting because sometimes I don't necessarily open my sketchbook up being like, I'm going to draw this. I work very intuitively, and I am stuck on this idea of trees and this curvy character. But, you know, maybe sometimes the page just hears what it needs to have on it. I don't know if that makes sense. Or my pen knows what to do before I do. And sometimes I just like to follow my pen. Sometimes I follow my hand. Sometimes I follow the page and go for a walk with it and see what happens. It's almost like drawing for something I don't have words for. It's like a self-care thing. It's a stimmy. It's a hyperfixation. It's something like that. It gives me time to slow down and feel something all the way through. I'm excited to tell you that this video is sponsored by Skillshare. I'm someone who loves to learn. I've got an incredibly busy brain and incredibly busy hands. I love to get my hands on anything I can and learn how to use it and learn how to make it my own. So when I jumped onto Skillshare, I had a look through all their categories, and there is so much available, like photography, music, self-development, writing, animation, graphic design, and of course illustration. I've never really used the program Illustrator very much to create illustration. I use it plenty to make promo and to put together my books and stuff, but not for illustration itself. So that's what I was on the hunt for. I came across Justina Stasik's class, Digital Character Illustrations, Create a Memorable, Whimsical Character. And I had so much fun. So while I was doing my Sketchbook Sanctuary session, I did some drawing in my sketchbook following along Justina's tutorial, and then I moved over to Illustrator on the computer. I love Justina's style, very much speaks to me, so I jumped right on it. And it was my first time really using Illustrator to make an artwork. And, you know, I have a long way to go, but Justina was really good at explaining all these funny little things that I'd never been able to get my head around before. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or the QR code on the screen right now will receive 20% off the first year of Skillshare. And you'll also have access to a 7-day free trial and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can get started today. How exciting. And this is the little artwork that I created at the end of it. Super happy with it. Thanks, Skillshare. It's funny how sometimes I avoid my sketchbook for weeks at a time, really don't want to go in there, or I don't feel like it, or I'm just, I don't know, overworked, maybe burnt out. And then there's sometimes where I just can't let the poor thing sit by itself for a while. I have to draw in it, I have to do stuff in it. I love being able to sit down and have a quiet chunk of time in my sketchbook, in this wildly busy world with all this stuff that's going on that really hurts my heart. And I've got many people close to me who are directly affected by a lot of the things going on, and I'm directly affected by a lot of this world is so loud. It's so loud, and my sketchbook It's my quiet companion on noisy, when my brain is too noisy, when the scroll is too doomy, when I feel like I can't be heard anywhere or do anything about it. My sketchbook is my place where I can move slowly. I can practice in being there. Not ahead or behind, just being. And I don't feel like there's any pressure on myself usually. Well, okay, that's a lie. Maybe I do feel there's some pressure sometimes, but it also evolves and changes from time to time. Sometimes it's just about holding a pencil and breathing next to it. Sometimes I just sit with my sketchbook and I don't even do any drawing in it. But I don't know. I love not doing something important. It's important in many ways to just draw in your sketchbook, but it's also not important. I can just scribble. I can just do weird stuff. Just be. Yeah, being curious without needing an outcome is just deliciously freeing. It reminds me, being in a sketchbook reminds me of feeling allowed to be a kid again. It's like I've learnt to follow my instincts in a world, especially in this world that tells women to not necessarily follow their instincts anymore. It feels like such a thing that I need to do, and I feel like my sketchbook is that vessel for me to follow my instincts in this small way, meaningful way. I love to follow my instincts in my sketchbook. It's like part diary, part museum, part dream journal, part abstract thought, part silliness and play, all those sort of things. It's funny how little scribbles like this can bring back whole memories, faster than photos can, faster than my writing, my words can. Even the colours I use say something about that moment in time. And years later, I meet past versions of myself on these pages. Sketchbooks are really quite beautiful in that way. This is how I use a sketchbook, of course. It's definitely my little journal place, my safe place, my little sanctuary. A lot of people use their sketchbooks in so many different ways, obviously. This is me. This is where I am. Sleepy sleeps. You cute. You cute. Love you. I feel like I do a lot of repetition. I redraw the same motifs, the same symbols over and over again in big chunks, and maybe like engaging in that repetitive hand movement and that repetitive idea, and redrawing the same thing over and over again in slightly different ways is almost puts my nervous system into a rest state, a state where I can digest the world and my thoughts and feelings. I know that it looks like being an artist online can be really relaxing and really chill, and look, you get to paint all day, but there is so much more to it, and I mentioned this quite a bit in my last video, and I'm just trying really hard to let myself feel calmer and more grounded, and I just always come back to my sketchbook. It's the place where I feel anchored. Like a weighted blanket, you know, but in my brain. And it's like exercise, isn't it? The more you do it, the more you just play and unwind in your sketchbook, or for me, the more I play and unwind in my sketchbook with a non-outcome driven sketching session, it like encourages my brain to be more flexible and to trust myself more in my decision making or my flow of taking my pen for a walk. I feel like I can trust myself more. It's literally brain exercise. The more you do it, the more you trust your brain, the more your hand can just be weird and try new things. I don't know if I'm just blethering. I'm trying to find ways to pull these thoughts together. I don't know, I'm just saying words. But yeah, being more playful in my sketchbook makes me more adaptable outside of my sketchbook as well when I'm creating final artworks for things, or for myself, or for to show, to put in my shop, for Patreon, for whatever. as someone with ADHD/ADHD, I'm always searching for that dopamine hit, that serotonin hit. And when I really lock into my sketchbook, I definitely get a lot of those dopamine rewards in my brain, which motivates me to learn more, to play more, to explore more. What if I do this? What if I add this? And that moment when a drawing works, delicious, yummy. There are times when I get really frustrated in my sketchbook as well. And I don't know, maybe I've just sort of learnt over time to sit in the frustration and keep going, keep the line moving. It's definitely a skill as well that can sometimes transfer into my normal everyday life. I create bad stuff on good days. I create good stuff on bad days, and it's all subjective, of course. Being in my sketchbook reminds me that progress can be soft and quiet, slow. It can go backwards, it can go forwards, and it all counts. And anyway, this is what I drew today's session. I did 2 spreads, which is quite a lot in this big chunk of time. It was nice to just stroll around with a tree in my sketchbook. That'll do. We made it to the end of the video. I did a couple of spreads in my sketchbook. Thank you so much for joining me in this new Sketchbook Sanctuary session. I'd love to make this a new thing, a regular thing where we just sit down and hang out in the sketchbook for a while, maybe a once a month sort of thing. Let me know what you think. I really enjoyed it. I love spending time in my sketchbook. It really, truly is my sanctuary. And this sketchbook I'm really enjoying in particular at the moment. And yeah, it was just really fun to explore some lines with you today. A big thank you again to my sponsor Skillshare. And I am looking forward to the next one. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.